Hey, I'm Lana from Lana Glowshot Art, and in this video, we're unboxing the June 2026 Sketchbox. This month's box is all about abstraction. Ready to get into it? Let's go. The surface in this month's box is the Strathmore oil painting paper. It's designed specifically for oil-based media and requires zero prep, so you can just tear out a sheet and start painting. It has a linen-like surface that mimics traditional canvas, and this custom 4x9-inch size is great for exploring unique compositions. Next, we have the star of this box, the 5-tube set of Rockwell Oilac paints. These are really unique because they combine qualities from multiple types of paints. You get the richness and body of oil paint, the faster drying times of acrylic, and then when you add water, these paints behave more like watercolor. We also have a clear acrylic mixing palette. Just be sure to remove the protective film before using it. In this video, I placed my palette over white paper, and this allowed me to see my colors really clearly. But you can also put your palette over gray or black paper, and changing the background can shift the way that you perceive your values, which can be really helpful when you're mixing lighter or darker colors. Finally, we have two palette knives, a mini spade and a mini oval. Palette knives are really versatile tools. You can use them for mixing paint, but also for applying it directly onto your surface. They allow you to create a wide range of marks from sharp edges to soft smears, and they're especially great for building texture. Now let's get these paints onto the surface. Here I'm using the tip of the spade palette knife to create a small swatch of each color. The tip gives you a bit more control while still letting you explore textures and opacity. These colors include Viridian Hue, Yellow, Orange, and Romantic Purple. Now, let's take a look at how they can behave more like watercolor. Here I'm adding a bit of water to each color with a paintbrush. This allows you to create thinner, more transparent washes while still maintaining really strong pigment. Finally, I'm going to mix white into each of these colors using my palette knife. Then, I apply the new tint with the side of my knife. Using the side of your knife allows you to explore some different textures. Experiment with spreading thick paint and scraping thinner paint across your surface. Before we jump into this next part, let's talk a little bit about abstraction. When you're working abstractly, you're not focused on capturing something exactly as it appears. Instead, you're working with elements like color, shape, and mark making to create something visually engaging. Because of that, your color scheme and composition become especially important. They're really what holds the whole piece together. One way to bring more cohesion into your color scheme is by using a mother color, which is a single color that you mix into all of your other colors. The purpose of this is to create harmony across your palette so everything feels more unified. All of these pieces have orange as their mother color. You can see how that helps each one feel cohesive on its own, but also allows them to work together as a group. Now let's take a look at a mother color in action. For this demo, I am using yellow instead of orange, and I'm going to mix a little bit into each and every mixture that I create. After painting yellow across the top of my sheet, I started mixing it into green. Between the two, green is a stronger pigment, so it takes more yellow to noticeably shift it. But as I kept adding yellow, I was able to create a wide range of greens that became lighter and more vibrant. From there, I continued mixing new colors. There aren't any strict rules here, just that each mixture includes a bit of the mother color. I started out with the spade palette knife, but after mixing up the greens, I switched to the oval so I could get a feel for both knives and how they each behaved. I found that the oval created softer, more smeary marks, while the spade gave me a bit more control and helped me create sharper edges, but both of them worked really well for mixing. When you're mixing colors, it's often easiest to create bright, saturated colors because they use fewer pigments, but it's just as important to explore neutrals and lighter values. These softer, more muted tones help balance your painting and keep it from feeling overly intense. Here, I have my finished demo next to my finished abstract piece. And even though both were created using the same base tubes of paint, the difference in mother colors changes the overall effect. The greens shift, the violets change slightly, and the overall palette takes on a different personality. This is a great reminder that even one small change can have a big impact. So try experimenting with different mother colors. The prompt for this month is abstract landscape, and this was one of my first attempts responding to both the materials and the prompt. As I continued to explore the tools and materials, I decided that I wanted to push the abstraction further. Here is the final piece. When you look at both pieces together, you can see the line of the mountain range and the shapes that were inspired by the trees and their reflection in the water. But this second painting isn't really about the specific place. It's using that landscape more as a starting point. To create my final abstract landscape, I began by wetting the entire surface. This sets me up to create a wet-on-wet line drawing where the paint can bleed and move around more loosely and unpredictably. For the initial line drawing, I used the edge of my spade palette knife and orange paint. Then I started with the basic shape of the coastline and the mountain range. Then I added in some vertical marks to suggest where the trees might go. At the beginning, I was looking at my photo reference quite a bit, but the longer I worked, the more I started to pull away from the photo and to respond more to the marks that I had made, focusing on what felt interesting and what I felt the painting needed. Working wet on wet for this first layer really helped the paint move more fluidly and created some really nice lines that vary in width and character. I also used this approach to scrape in some larger areas of color. This allowed me to turn some of my lines into larger shapes and textures that I could build on in the next layer. For me, abstraction is a lot about response, so I try to get shapes and color onto the surface quickly, even if they don't end up in the final piece. As I build the painting layer by layer, I'm covering areas that aren't working and leaning into the areas that are. With paints like this, especially when used without water, you can get enough opacity to make those changes. You don't have to love every layer because you can always paint over it. As that wet on wet layer was drying, I mixed up a warm lavender using romantic purple, quite a bit of white, and some orange as my mother color. I used a paintbrush to apply larger swatches of this color to the background. The brush helped me create a smooth texture and allowed me a bit more precision with my shapes. But I also brought in the palette knife in a few areas, and I really liked how it let some of that orange underneath peek through as I scraped it across the surface. As I mentioned earlier, neutral tones are an incredibly important part of a color scheme, and they're often overlooked when you have lots of bright tubes of paint and no neutral tubes of paint. So, for a piece like this, I like to incorporate my neutrals early on. Here, I'm mixing Viridian Hue, Romantic Purple, and of course, a little bit of orange, and this helps me create a cooler gray. I mix several variations of this gray in different values, gradually adding more white. Pre-mixing a range of related colors like this allows me to work more spontaneously once I start painting, because then I can just grab for the value I want rather than pausing the process and mixing up a new pile. Using my palette knife and a darker gray, I began laying in that mountain shape, but this doesn't have to match the reference photo. As I worked, I started asking myself where else this gray might be useful. What would help balance this piece? What areas did I like, and where might I want to break up the shapes a little bit more? As I followed those questions, I let go of the idea that this had to read as a mountain and instead focused on placing paint in a way that created more visual interest. Throughout this process, I moved back and forth between my paintbrush and palette knives quite a bit. Here, I am using the brush to lean into the reference a little bit more, adding some smaller details and areas of interest. I often return to the reference photo if I'm feeling stuck. It gives me something to respond to until I find my way back to a more intuitive approach. I use the photo reference to add those tree-like shapes, and then I felt more comfortable experimenting and playing. So I used both the brush and the knife to build in some different marks that came out of my imagination. I also mixed a bit of white into the orange to create more variation and interest. When I am painting abstractly, I regularly step back from my work and give it a little space. This helps me see how everything is working together and what areas might need more attention. At this point, I really liked those bright orange marks in the upper left and the overall color scheme that was developing. But it felt like it needed some other delicate elements to help balance the piece. Green felt like a fun direction to explore and a good way to introduce some contrast. Because I mixed orange into the Viridian Hue, this green would feel like it belonged in the painting. But I still needed to decide how much to use and where, so I started adding it in slowly. I didn't want it to take over or shift the warm color scheme too much. The darker greens were okay, but not quite what I was looking for, so I mixed a lighter variation and that color ended up working much better. It actually helped support the darker greens. To keep the green from feeling out of place, I leaned into the mark making techniques that I had already been using, scraping textures and those vertical lines inspired by the trees. After making a big color shift like this, it's always a good idea to step back again and evaluate. I was pretty happy with how the green was working, but this piece still didn't feel finished. So I decided to bring in some purple since it hadn't played much of a role yet. Because I record my process, I was able to look back at the footage, and I'll be honest, I liked this piece a little bit more before adding the purple. But sometimes making your painting a little uglier can actually be helpful. I know this sounds crazy, but hear me out. If there are parts of your painting that you don't love, the piece becomes less precious and it's easier to take risks. So if you have an idea, give it a shot. Even if it doesn't work out, at the very least, you learn something about your process and style, and you can always cover up those parts you don't like. As you're working, I also recommend taking photos of your piece throughout the process. That way you have a record of what it looked like before a big change. This makes it easier to evaluate your decisions, and if you end up covering something that you really liked, you can always return to your photo and bring those elements that you enjoyed into a future piece. After adding the purple, I stepped back again to take everything in. At this point, the piece was starting to feel a little too busy, so I decided that the next step was to quiet things down. To do that, I mixed a lighter neutral using a ton of white and a little bit of yellow and orange. If I wanted this color to be even more muted, I could have added a touch of romantic purple, but I decided to keep it a little bit more warm and vibrant. Since I planned to use this color throughout the piece, I mixed up a larger amount. I started with the oval palette knife, using it to cover areas that felt too noisy or distracting. This meant taking some big risks and painting over areas that I actually liked, but it helped bring more focus to the composition. As I applied the paint, I used the scraping motion to build up texture and to allow some of those earlier layers and colors to show through. Then I switched over to the brush. When I applied full strength paint with the paintbrush, I was able to get a lot of opacity. And in areas that I wanted more of the background to show through, I added a little bit of water. I also used this lighter color to create marks, not just to cover things up. And instead of introducing anything new, I leaned into the mark making that I had already been using throughout the piece. This helped everything feel really cohesive. After applying this lighter color across the piece, it felt much more calm, but still interesting. By varying my mixture slightly, making it a little bit more white in some areas and warmer in other areas, I was able to keep a sense of movement and depth while quieting the composition. One way I like to check to see if a piece is working is by focusing on one small section at a time. So sometimes I'll frame it out with a scrap of paper or even just my hands, and I'll ask myself if that area feels interesting or if anything feels unresolved. I'll move across the painting this way and then take a step back and look at the painting as a whole. Looking at the painting in different ways helps me decide where I want to make any final adjustments before calling the piece complete. And if you're unsure if your piece is finished, step away for a few hours or even a few days and come back with fresh eyes. You might find that you are actually really happy with it as is, or you might feel inspired to make a more dramatic change. And now this piece is complete. I hope you learned a ton about abstraction, and we can't wait to see what you create. So be sure to use the hashtag SketchBoxJune when you post your work online. For more unboxing videos and tutorials, you can check out our YouTube page where you can like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.